Hi every wise reader. Welcome to the next video from Read Wiser, a YouTube channel dedicated to helping you improve yourself through books. Join us as we explore the profound insights of The Power of Positive Thinking by the renowned Norman Vincent Peale. What if I told you that most of your failures, your unhappiness, and even your physical illnesses are not caused by bad luck or external circumstances, but by a simple, destructive habit? A habit so powerful it's been called the Great Modern Plague. We're talking about the habit of negative thinking. We've all been there. We expect the worst and then the worst happens. We doubt our abilities, so we fail the interview. We worry constantly about our health, and we end up feeling sick and tired. Norman Vincent Peale argues this isn't a coincidence. It's a law. He claims that by systematically changing our mental habits, we can change our entire lives. This isn't just wishful thinking. He presents it as a practical, scientific system for achieving success. Peale's core argument is that we are not born to be defeated by life's problems. Too many of us are struggling, not because our problems are too big, but because our mental patterns are dominated by obstacles. This book isn't a theoretical philosophical text. Peale calls it a practical, direct action, personal improvement manual. Its one and only goal is to give you a simple, workable system for achieving a happy, satisfying, and worthwhile life. Now, where does this system come from? Peale is very clear. These aren't his inventions. He calls it applied Christianity, presenting the teachings of Jesus as a simple yet scientific system of practical techniques. He's not just guessing. He says these principles were tested and documented for years in the lives of hundreds of people at his church in New York City. He saw people overcome failure, sickness, and despair, all by mastering these spiritual techniques. But he gives one crucial warning. Just reading about them isn't enough. He stresses that persistent and sincere practice is the only way to experience what he calls an amazing improvement and to truly change your circumstances. So the central idea is that your life's quality is not set in stone. It's determined by your mental and spiritual approach. Let's explore the first step in mastering that approach. The very first and biggest obstacle to a successful life is a lack of self-confidence. Peale calls this the inferiority complex, a deep and profound self-doubt that makes us miserable and blocks our achievements. He argues that this is a curable malady, not a life sentence. This doubt often stems from our childhood. Maybe we were compared to a sibling or told we weren't good enough, and we've been carrying that baggage ever since. So, what's the cure? It's not just trying harder. The core method is to fill your mind to overflowing with faith, specifically, dynamic faith in God. Peale's logic is that a strong faith in a higher power builds a humble but reasonable confidence in yourself, because you're no longer relying on your own limited strength. How do you do this? Through practice. One of the most powerful techniques he offers is the use of affirmations. He tells the story of a man who was sunk by self-doubt and gave him a single sentence to repeat, "I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me." By repeating this phrase, the man re-educated his mind. Peale insists that your attitude toward a fact is more important than the fact itself. Clear, confident thought backed by faith can literally modify or overcome a fact that seems to spell defeat. The key takeaway here is that your lack of confidence is just a mental state, and it can be cured. The most effective medicine is to systematically reprogram your mind, replacing those old negative thoughts with powerful, positive affirmations of faith, which in turn unlocks God-given strength. But how do you keep that strength and not burn out? That's what he addresses next. We all want more energy, right? We think energy comes from a good night's sleep or a cup of coffee, but Peale argues that true, constant power doesn't come from a frantic, hurried pace. It comes from a state of inner peace. He says a peaceful mind is a power center. A mind full of trouble, on the other hand, is a recipe for exhaustion. The reason we're so tired isn't because of hard work. It's because of what he calls energy leaks. These are the drains on our vitality caused by negative emotional states, fear, resentment, inner conflicts, and guilt. Think about how exhausted you feel after an argument, even if you just sat in a chair. That's an energy leak. To fix this, Peale offers two key techniques. First, you must get in sync with God's rhythm. He says God and nature work in a slow, deliberate, harmonious tempo. Our hectic habits of rushing and stressing are out of sync with this, and it literally tears us apart. Second, you must practice mind emptying. At least twice a day, you have to consciously and deliberately cast out all your fears, hates, and insecurities. But you can't just leave your mind empty. The old thoughts will sneak back in. So immediately after emptying it, you must refill it with positive, peaceful thoughts, pictures of tranquil scenes or powerful lines from Scripture. Your personal power is directly tied to your state of mind. To get constant energy, you have to stop the energy leaks of emotional turmoil by practicing this daily discipline of emptying and refilling. This leads directly to the biggest energy leak of all: worry. Peale calls worry the great modern plague and a destructive disease. He cites physicians who link it directly to serious physical illnesses like arthritis, high blood pressure, and ulcers. But here's the good news: worry is not an inescapable part of life. He says it is simply an unhealthy and destructive mental habit that you've acquired. And because you learned it, you can unlearn it. The first step is to genuinely believe you can break the habit with God's help. Then you use the same technique we just discussed, but with a specific focus on worry. You must practice daily mind emptying, especially right before you go to sleep. Use your creative imagination to visualize all your fears and anxieties draining away, like pulling the plug in a bathtub full of dirty water. But again, the mind can't stay in a vacuum. The moment it's empty, you must refill it. This is where faith comes in. Peale states that fear is the most powerful thought, with one exception: faith. Faith is the only power that can defeat fear. So you must practice the opposite and stronger habit of faith. This is a proactive daily discipline. Consciously empty your mind of fears and then immediately refill it with powerful thoughts of faith, hope, and courage. Peale warns that continuously fearing an outcome can actually help to bring it to pass. But by shifting your mind from fear to faith, you stop actualizing the object of your fear and instead actualize the object of your faith. Worry is a destructive but curable habit. The solution is this two-part daily practice: empty your mind of fear and refill it with faith. But how do you practice faith, especially when you're in a crisis? For Peale, prayer isn't a passive last-ditch ritual. It is a scientific and immensely powerful technique for solving any problem, whether in your personal life or in business. He says prayer is the greatest power available for releasing tangible spiritual energy. And he provides a specific workable formula: prayerize, picturize, actualize. First, prayerize. This means you stop treating God as a distant being and make him a constant partner. Talk to him naturally about all your daily problems, your worries, your decisions, your plans. Second, picturize. This is where you create a firm, detailed mental image of the successful outcome you desire. You don't just hope for it. You see it in your mind's eye and hold that picture tenaciously. Third, actualize. This is the natural result of the first two steps. The prayerized and picturized outcome comes to pass. Peale tells a powerful story of a woman who saved her marriage by picturing her husband, who was planning to leave, as happy and present in their home. She held that image with faith and it actualized. Prayer also functions as a powerful stimulus for creative ideas, tapping into the potential God has already placed in your mind. The key takeaway is that prayer is a practical tool, not a vague hope. By treating it as a science and consistently applying the prayerize, picturize, actualize formula, you can transform your prayers from simple wishes into a reliable mechanism for receiving divine guidance, creative ideas, and tangible success. This same method is the key to creating happiness. So if we can build confidence and use prayer, how do we create lasting happiness and success? Peale argues they are not random. They are the direct result of a cultivated faith-based mindset. He says happiness is a choice and a habit. You have to actively practice happy thinking instead of manufacturing your own unhappiness with negative thoughts. A core law of success is to expect the best. Peale claims that when you expect the best, you release a magnetic force in your mind that attracts positive outcomes. Conversely, when you expect the worst, you release a power of repulsion. You have to adopt an "I don't believe in defeat" attitude. Why? Because most obstacles are primarily mental. Your attitude toward them is the most important factor in overcoming them. He gives a brilliant metaphor for this: throw your heart over the bar. He tells the story of a trapeze artist who told a frightened student to throw your heart over the bar and your body will follow. This means you must commit your faith, your affirmations, and your whole self over the difficulty first. Your material self, your body and your actions, will then naturally follow the path your faith has cleared. You are the creator of your own happiness and success. By deliberately training your mind to practice positive thinking, expect the best, and refuse to accept defeat, you activate a faith-based power that will overcome any obstacle. But this mental work doesn't just affect your bank account. It directly affects your body. Peale was way ahead of his time in discussing the mind-body connection. He argues that a huge percentage of physical illness is psychosomatic, meaning it's caused or aggravated by negative mental states. He estimates that 50 to 75% of people are ill not from germs, but from the influence of improper mental states. He says negative emotions are diseased thoughts that act as poisons in our system. Resentment, hate, guilt, and anger aren't just bad feelings. They are energy leaks that cause real physical illness. He even quotes a physician who said a patient died of grudgitis, a long-held grudge and hatred that undermined his physical resistance until he could no longer fight off a malady. Peale tells the story of a sales manager who was slipping badly, losing all his energy and creative skill. After vacations and rest failed, he was sent to Peale. It turned out his mind was filled with mental filth, a complex web of sins, lies, and guilt. The moment he confessed and practiced mind emptying, he felt a physical release, and his old vitality returned. Your physical health is inextricably linked to your mental and spiritual health. These negative emotions are poisons. The most powerful antidote, he says, is a spiritual one, a formula of faith, forgiveness, and mind emptying, used right alongside whatever your doctor prescribes. This is the ultimate prescription for heartache and physical ailment. This same principle of healing also applies to our relationships. We all have a deep, fundamental drive to be appreciated and liked. But Peale notes that many people fail at this by trying too hard or by being too self-centered. The secret to healing your relationships is the same as healing your body. You must shift your focus from self-love to a genuine, unselfish love and appreciation for others. First, he says you must become a comfortable person. This is an old shoe, old hat kind of individual who is natural, relaxed, and easygoing. People are drawn to those they feel comfortable with, not those who are stiff, egotistical, or easily offended. The core secret to getting people to like you is to genuinely like them. This involves practical, learnable skills. Remember their names, drain off your grievances against them, and most importantly, build up their ego. Peale argues that ego deflation, needlessly correcting someone or one-upping their story, is a sure way to make them dislike you. Instead, you should actively build up their sense of self-importance. This same outward faith-based focus is also the prescription for heartache, the cure for grief and sorrow. He says the cure involves practical steps, like engaging in constructive physical activity and allowing yourself a natural release of grief. But the deepest, most permanent cure is spiritual, practicing the presence of God and adopting an unshakable belief in the continuity of life, which he calls the philosophy of deathlessness. This faith-based focus, he argues, is the ultimate key to all power. In his final words, Norman Vincent Peale makes one thing crystal clear. This book is not a collection of interesting theories. It is a series of practical and workable techniques for living a successful life. And as he says, reading is not enough. The value is not in the knowing, but in the doing. He urges the reader to go back and, most importantly, persistently practice each technique until they get results. The entire book can be synthesized into one core idea: Your life is the outward expression of your habitual thoughts. If you are dominated by thoughts of fear, failure, resentment, and worry, your life will be filled with defeat. But this is not a permanent sentence. You can, at any moment, begin the work of changing your mind. By systematically emptying out the old diseased thoughts and refilling your mind with new vital thoughts of faith, you connect yourself to a higher power. Peale's promise is that this power, when worked, will heal your body, mend your relationships, cure your worries, and lift you from defeat to a life of victory and success. His final message is a simple, powerful command: believe and live successfully. This book is a timeless call to action, reminding us that we have more power over our lives than we think. What was your biggest takeaway from this summary? Is there a specific technique, like mind emptying or prayerize, picturize, actualize, that you're going to try? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What other books on the power of mindset should I cover next? If you found this summary valuable, please hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe to Read Wiser for more deep dives into life-changing books. Thanks for watching.